Last week, Indiana's Supreme Court ruled 3-2 that citizens do not have the right to resist illegal entry into their homes by officers of the law. This means that if a policeman enters your home, at least in Indiana, without consent, and you try to physically impede him, he can arrest you. And that arrest is valid, and you may be punished by law regardless of whether or not the officer was justified in coming into your home or was following procedure. This is a blatant violation of just basic rights and the sanctity of one's home. And while throwing off the police state isn't going to happen overnight, it is very encouraging to know, at least, that someone is already doing something about it. And in this case, joining me now is Stephen Skolnick, a student at Indiana University who is organizing a rally to protest the decision by the Indiana Supreme Court. And today, just 1 week from the event, happens to be Stephen's birthday. So what better way of celebrating than being on television? Stephen, thanks for being with us tonight, and happy birthday.
Oh, it's my pleasure. How are you doing today?
Outstanding, outstanding. So tell me, by way of background for this, to fill in our audience, what was the case that led to this decision by the Indiana Supreme Court?
The case was Barnes versus the state of Indiana, and what happened was there was a domestic dispute outside their home, and they went inside when the police officers showed up. They were told that they weren't needed, and they came in anyway. Mr. Barnes tried to resist and was forced up against a wall, tasered, and taken to the hospital because he had an adverse reaction to the electrical shock. But
that's typical for human beings, isn't it? I mean, that's kind of an adverse reaction. That's kind of the intent.
Right, but and so he was charged with, I believe, misdemeanor resisting law enforcement, misdemeanor battering a police officer, disorderly conduct, and so there was, yeah, it went all the way to the Indiana Supreme Court, and they ruled in favor of the police officers.
Well, not surprising, unfortunately, considering our judicial system is a complete joke at this point. Now, I understand you weren't really politically active before this. This is a first for you.
I have very little political involvement, but I'm a very concerned citizen. I heard about this, and it really alarmed me. And so I decided to see what I could do about it. I didn't see anything going on. I didn't see any great deal of public outcry about this. And so I decided to see if I could fix that.
Well, you are the outcry, and the rally is next Wednesday. Very excited about that. If you want to plug that, you got a Facebook event you're organizing around this. What are you hoping to achieve specifically with this event?
Well, really, we're just trying to draw attention to the issue. And I think in that respect, we've already succeeded a great deal. We've got over, 800 people who have RSVP'd yes to this, and we've got 9,000 more invited. And, that number is just going to keep blowing up over the course of the next week because, with these new social networks, someone who gets the invite and thinks that it's a good idea, they send it to all their friends. And so we've seen a tremendous deal of public outrage over this because of these violations of people's basic rights. And we're really thrilled that people are making their voices heard, and they're letting their legislators know that they're not going to stand for this. And I've heard that legislation is already being drafted. It's in the works to overturn this.
Outstanding. So are you meeting any kind of resistance from political leaders there, people who appointed those Supreme Court justices?
Not too much, as a matter of fact. It seems that this is one of those issues that people from both sides of the political spectrum can really get behind because it's just basic violations of the home as a sanctuary. And if you can't feel safe in your home, where can you feel safe?
Correct. Outstanding. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Stephen. Keep up the great work, and best of luck with your rally next week.
Thank you very much.
Outstanding. That was Stephen Skolnick, student at Indiana University, who is organizing a rally to protest the recent Supreme Court decision there.